friends. The park I'm sharing with you today is the one way up at the top of the hill. If you're down in Pittsburgh, like if you're at the point where the fountain is, and you look up the hill, you'll see there's some little tracks and some cable cars that go up, and then they come back down. And that's where I was, up at that top. Okay, there you go. So you can see there's a lot of space taken up by housing where people live, and there are restaurants and there are shops and all kinds of cool things. But if you go out and around the edges, all this green is parks that you are welcome to explore because this is part of your city. One of the things I wanted to talk about is safety when you're hiking around. One of the parks from there that I hiked was pretty steep. And today it was rainy, so it was a little slippery. So it's really important to make sure that you wear good shoes. Shoes with tread. Don't wear flip-flops. Don't wear skinny little slippers or something because you're not going to be able to go up and down all the hills in that kind of clothing. So another thing that I brought today is a raincoat, and sure enough, it did rain while I was there, but I knew that it was in the forecast. And I also like to wear a hat, partly to shade my eyes so that I can see better and to keep off the heat, and so I don't get a sunburn. Okay. And so there's a lot of information. Miss Ng is going to show you all the wonderful things, all the places that I've been. So I'm just going to give you a little background on why I chose what I did. And so my theme this time is, can you guess? Insects. Insects, all kinds of insects. Some of them we love, right? Dragonflies are just beautiful. You see them flying and they just look golden and magical. Stick insects, and you might want to zoom in on this one. It's a little hard to see. Here's the body, and then these long, skinny legs. And so when you find an insect like that, it's really interesting to watch because of the way that they walk. Okay, here's another stick insect. Dragonflies. Again with the color. And grasshoppers. And you know what I've already had in my cicadas, or in my yard, is cicadas. Aww. I thought it was a little early for cicadas, but sure enough, my yard is full of them. So there's that. But the one that I really, really want to talk to you about is mosquitoes. All right, so we're going to look a little bit about bloodthirsty mosquitoes. And this is a very big enlargement. Mosquitoes aren't like that. Don't worry about that. But they're small and they're very sneaky. All right, little flies. Mosquitoes are tiny insects. They belong to the same group as flies. Like all flies, mosquitoes have 2 wings, 2 antennae, and 6 legs. They also have a hard covering called an exoskeleton on the outside of their bodies. Okay. They are thirsty. So this is a really close-up picture of a mosquito poking into somebody's skin, and when they suck out the blood, they also leave some chemicals that make you feel really itchy. So there's another image of one. All right, there's a mosquito that has already sucked a lot of blood, and you can see how it's filled up its abdomen with all that liquid. All right. Okay, many different animals actually eat mosquitoes. They're good food for birds and bats and frogs and lizards and spiders. So mosquitoes have a good part to play too. Dragonflies and other insects make meals of mosquitoes. One kind of dragonfly can catch and eat up to 100 mosquitoes at a time. Ooh. Do you think that would give you a stomach ache? I think so. Right. And this shows how the mosquito lays its eggs in the water, and they all stick together, and it's almost like they have a little raft there. Growing and molting. After hatching in the water, a baby mosquito is a tiny worm-like creature called a larva. And there it is. Again, way, what's the word? To make them look bigger.
It's very zoomed in.
Yeah.
Magnified.
Magnified. That's it. Okay. Okay, so this is way magnified. They're much, much smaller than that. So when the larva gets too big, its exoskeleton splits and comes off, and a new one has been growing underneath all that time. So that's how they get bigger and bigger and bigger. They shed each layer. Okay, so here's an adult mosquito. And there is a mosquito biting into somebody's skin, and how much do you bet that that person swatted it? And if you're interested in learning about more invertebrates, that means animals that don't have a spine, don't have bones like we do, you might be interested in getting out the bloodthirsty mosquitoes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the road that everybody comes up and down. There are a couple people going down. I just came up, and I'm looking over the railing, and I want to show you where we are. So, okay, this is the top of Mount Washington, and I'm going to take you for a walk. Okay, it's a little noisy today. This is a really busy street. So this street is called Grandview, and it's because it gives you a wonderful view of Pittsburgh. And as you'll see up here a little bit, there's even some nice observation decks where you can go look out. So I'm going to be walking up this street. By the way, this church is one that's lit up at night, and you can see it from down in Pittsburgh. If you look up on the hill, you'll see that church. Okay, if you come up to the top of the hill, you'll see that there are a lot of places where they have this stand with a lot of information on it. This is about Mount Washington, the confluence of the three rivers, which you've, I'm sure, all heard of. And here I'm going to show you a little bit of downtown from this snippet. All right, see you up the hill. Okay, and down there you'll see some boats are docked, ready to go out for some fun. And just to the right of it is a building that, I don't know if it still has it, I'll have to research this, but the letters that you can see that are backwards for us looking, it's the P and L-E-R-R. And I know RR stands for railroad, but I'm going to have to find out what the P and L-E stands for. I'll let you know. Okay folks, here we are at the entranceway, one of the entranceways to Emerald View Park. There's a little bit of a parking lot over here. That's where I'm parked. And you might notice that there's a couple houses up there with families, and I don't want to get into their space. So here, let's just get into the park. And last time I came here, I went to the left because I thought, oh, everybody else is going to be going to the right. So today, I'm going to go to the right, and we'll see what happens. Okay, one cautionary tale again, always. Look out for those leaves of three. The two leaves that are opposite each other are pretty close to the stem, and then that third one is a little longer, and that gives you a very good clue that that is poison ivy and you should stay away. Okay, so did I mention wear good sturdy shoes, don't wear flip-flops. Tennis shoes, lace them up if you have them, because, you know, things happen, like this branch falling across the road. Okay, here's that special building I was telling you about. We're going to walk down there, and if the operator is free, maybe have a little chat with them.